and welcome to the program Hacking on Samui Wallet for Solana Cypherpunk Hackathon. I think this is episode number 7. I didn't start numbering because I knew I would forget to update the numbers, which would then frustrate me. So I'm going to go by memory, and Sandeep helped me out the other day. Now let me quickly post the YouTube and the Twitch links under the video on X so that people can check this stream wherever they want to. And also let me quickly go on the YouTube to figure out if this all works. It seems like it all works. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the other screen and mute the tab so I don't hear myself twice. So let's go ahead and just like the other days, I'm going to share my screen and I'll sit in the corner right here. Here we are with the editor and updating my chat. So I'm a bit earlier than I used to be in the last few days. And also let me post this one here for my buddy to see. And actually, I'm going to drop it in the Discord live on YouTube. There we go. So this should be a new habit where I just share the links everywhere so people can see where I'm live. Now, without further ado, people that are joining right now, you haven't missed anything because we're just getting started. So, yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Well, I think yesterday we updated something that was pretty important. Namely, if you select a different account right here, it would update the actual wallet as well. So we have a division between account and wallet, and account is a mnemonic phrase, and we can currently derive wallets from that mnemonic phrase. And if you want to understand how that all works, I recommend you to check earlier episodes where I go into a bit more depth, or ask your favorite LLM to figure out how mnemonic phrase derivation works. But the thing is, we have these two accounts and we can switch between the two, and the wallet now gets updated. And alternatively, you can see I can inside the account update this thing. I would actually expect, if I'm in account 1, okay, now I'm in account 2. Bob is created here. Now, is that correct? Bob should be here. Let me see. So this works as expected. Alice, Bob, Alice. Now, if I go into account 2 with Bob, Alice is here. So this doesn't seem right. So I need to figure out why this is. But that's not something that I'm going to do today. So I'll be looking into this a bit more because I started working on this. Then yesterday after the show, I figured out I actually want to do a bunch of different things with how preferences are set. So we have a simple preferences system on board, and this is how we also do this experimental software banner. And so yeah, there's a bunch of things I need to look into still, but we'll be getting there. Now, what I want to do today is I actually want to be able to add watched accounts. Now, what do I mean with watched accounts? So if we go to our database here, so packages DB, I'm just going to browse so that people checking in can kind of see the structure of where all this stuff lives. So we have packages DB, and inside here we have the schema. And these are all ZOT schemas, and we derive TypeScript types from these. We use it to parse stuff. So this is basically type safety so that the data in our database is in an expected format. And if we look at the wallet schema, sorry. If we look at the wallet schema, we have a wallet schema type. And until now, every type of wallet that we have has been a derived wallet. This is just deriving a wallet from the account mnemonic, as I just explained. Now, the other thing that we want is to have imported wallets. So let's say you have a byte array or a base 58 representation of a byte array. We should be able to give you an import screen where you can just drop this in and add this. But first, I'm going to add the watched mode, which seems easier. Now, the reason that I want to do this today is that I started building out token metadata system. So, and I guess I can, yeah, so we have this portfolio viewer. Let's actually go to our GitHub. I reckon it's this one, Samui. Sure, Google already figures it out. So I didn't get to merge this in right before the show, but in our portfolio view, we will very soon have these tabs. So we have two tabs here. One is tokens, one is activity. And this will now have a list of all the tokens. And because I'm using DevNet accounts, and I intend to keep on doing so, I don't feel comfortable yet loading in my own key pairs, even though I know the codes very well. I don't feel comfortable doing that just yet. I don't recommend anybody doing their live mainnet tokens. But what I do want to do is a way to observe a wallet that I own. And that way I have a nice, good wallet that I can check and build out the token metadata feature without having to import my seed phrase into this. So that's kind of like the next best thing. I got a branch, I started working on that, and then I realized, okay, I either need to polyfill a bunch of data. I might as well add the wallet watch feature right now. Then I can add my mainnet wallet. I can quickly add a mainnet cluster connection. And then at least I can build out that feature. And that should also give me a nice starting point to build out the activity. The added benefit of this is that I can actually check the same wallet in Backpack, Solver, and Phantom and verify if all of these things show roughly the same data. So today's show, we're going to be looking at that. So what I did just before I started this was actually ask Gemini if they could make this list responsive. And if we go to settings and accounts and we click on account 1, this is the normal view where I implemented this as a table with this button here. It's kind of annoying to have the tooltip. Maybe it should move to the side. Maybe it shouldn't even exist here. Maybe this is the only place where we want this thing to exist. I don't know. I will be talking with my buddy Steve about the UX. But what I asked Gemini to do is actually make this responsive. So when it drops to a mobile view, it creates a card, and this is just a table. Again, this is probably not permanent, but for now it works. So the thing I want to do here is add a button. So this just adds a new one to the bottom of the list. It doesn't ask anything. We probably want to change this as well, but I want to add a watch icon here. So I'm just going to add the eye as an icon, and we'll start building it from the UI today. Why the hell not? So I'm going to pick this one up, and I'm going to say here class name is flex and gap2, and this should be the Lucite eye. There we are. And what we want to do here is watch a wallet. And this is just a trigger right here. And somehow I updated my editor today. Somehow it doesn't format on save. So tomorrow I'll be back with my old editor, the old version that is. And then where we use this thing, we will now have a watch wallet, which is going to be async. And we'll be going to add that here. So we have a derive wallet option. And let's quickly see derive and create wallet. So this is a derive and create wallet. And what I actually think we need is just the create wallet mutate async helper here. Now, in order, because this list already gets quite long, so I'm just going to create a new mnemonic phrase here. There we go. Okay, I see that there's something wrong with these mnemonic phrases, and I think I already know what. So let me actually go do some live debugging here. So this is the wallet list. Wallets here has all the info. So if I remove wallets, it doesn't show. So wallets here doesn't get filtered. Now, how do we get wallets? We get wallets from active wallet. Use wallets live. Here we are. Okay. We don't have active account ID set here. And this is interesting. Let me actually switch this. So this is one. It does get updated here. It should also be added to the dependencies array. Let me actually log it right here. Filter account ID. And as always, if somebody sees it, if somebody sees what it is, please let me know, because I don't really see this right now. Okay, interesting. So account 3 now shows, account 2 now shows, account 1 now shows. Let's go back to account 3. Let's pick, and now it doesn't show. Right, so there's definitely something here that's a bit glitchy. And as well as if I go here, so this list is way too long, so this shouldn't exist here. So this is something for me to figure out. Now, one of the downsides of the current system, honestly, is that there's no tests of front-end code. So if I break something in the front end, the only way to see it is by monkey testing, just me going in and figuring out what the hell may have been wrong. Active account ID. We need to filter on accounts here. So one of the things I realized in this live query hook, I can actually use the helper functions that we already have. So we have db wallet find many, where we pass in the db, and then the input account ID, and we set that to the account ID. And this then might be null, which is kind of annoying. But let's see if this changes the whole thing. It doesn't seem like it does. So this is just annoying that I broke something that did work. I'll have to go back and figure that out. Let's see if we can deal with it regardless. So I'm going to undo this change. Typical best practice. If you try to do something and it doesn't work, might as well just change the usage of the thing. Change the update that you just made, because you probably don't want to do this. DB wallet live, active wallet. Yeah, it must be something stupid. It must be something logical. Cool to see that we have Toby here, Jamser, and Sandeep as well. Yes, Sandeep, it's a bit earlier, and I just want to get to bed before like 4 a.m. for a change. Told the missus we will be having a walk tomorrow through the city. So, yep, and we're at season 1, episode 7. So yeah, I'm doing a bit of an early stream today, and we'll see if it actually, if I actually manage to go to bed before 4. Let's see. Watch wallet, and I just want to make sure that I have this one here set. There we are. Now, derive and create wallet. So what I'm actually going to do is just take this db wallet create, and I'm going to be adding it to the mutation, going to be added to the component right here. Then it should actually be as easy as await create wallet mutation.mutate async. And here I should craft an input. So the account is the account ID, sure. Let me actually add missing properties. So the name, so the public key is whatever we get. So we need to ask the user which public key. So we can be a bit intrusive, I guess. So we can just say window.prompt, what is the public key you want to watch? And thinking about it, this is also the way how we can do an import. So we might actually get import seed phrase for free today as well. So that's that. Now this one is not derived. This one is definitely watched. Pub key is the pub key, and the name, I'm going to ellipsify the public key that we get. Now the other thing that I actually really want to do is to make sure that it's an address. So assert address should be something I have access to because we export the whole of Kit. So in our case, this should come from Solana client, which it does not. But we may not depend on Solana client on the settings package. What would be the nice thing to do? I guess just depend on it. Why not? We also depend on the database. So Solana client, depend on this thing, and then do a pnpm install. I actually have P installed as per suggestion from Toby. Now with Solana client here, I should be able to import this assert address. And maybe it doesn't import, but maybe it comes from here. So let me see Solana client and see if we have assert functions. Assert is address. Okay, that's clearly the issue. So assert is address public key. Now, this is already, we're already quite a way there. So let me get this one, add Bob, and then if all goes well, let me see, watch wallet's public key. So I did set up I do have a branch where I added vtest for unit testing, for end-to-end testing front end. Now I did this in an airport while I was waiting in the terminal, and yeah, I don't really know what the status is. I don't really know if I'm at the right direction. It's been a while that I've done any UI E2E tests, and it's the first time I'm doing this with vtest. So I don't really know if this is the right thing. So let me get rid of this filter. Wallet live. Gotta get rid of the filter. Use DB wallet live. Maybe I need a hard refresh. So there may be something here with refreshing the state of this browser. Another thing I realized, I have no way to delete a wallet. Now, considering you always derive, or you always import, or you always watch, I think it's fairly safe that we can just allow deleting wallets without having to be very explicit about it. We probably do want to do like a confirmation just so that people don't run this accidentally and take it from there. And the other way that I just realized, I can just delete the database. I actually don't need to go in here anymore. We have a real option to do this. So let me go to settings, delete database. Yes, I'm very sure. Now this gives me a clean slate. It refreshes the browser. So now I can just generate something. Perfect. And here I can then just import something, and let me import Bob that I just had. Bob right here, little Bobby. Watch wallet, Bob, bang, got added there. Good. Now the derivation index is set to 0 by default for any wallet. At least I'm fairly sure. We can check the DB wallet create. Derivation index is 0. Now this is not great if all of the imported wallets come up front. If I look at wallet type, the wallet type schema, we have derived, imported, and watched. Maybe I can just add a second sort order to this thing where I say, hey, also order by. Yeah, it doesn't allow me to do this. Alternatively, maybe this allows me to pass in multiple things. which it does. Nice. So can I do type here? And then refresh. Now, there we go. So this is another thing. We need to have a error boundary. You can provide a better UX to an error boundary or error element. Yes, pull requests are open. The type is not indexed. So if we remove the type here, I guess it should work again. It does not. Okay, so maybe I need a compound way to do this. I do have another option though, and that is in the list of items where we show this stuff. Here, am I going to sort wallets, sort, and then we don't want to do this. We want to sort by type. I'm just going to do it here because, as we all know, my modus for these live shows is make it work, make it right, make it fast. So I'm not going to bother too much. However, this at this moment does not work as expected. It must be an integer. And, okay. Got it. Now there we are, babies. Okay. Then, in addition, after this sorting has happened, I think I want to sort on name as well. So I'm going to do name here as well. This doesn't need to be optional. This just wants to exist. And here we are. Great. Wondering if I can drop the question mark here. I'm really micromanaging my code today. Not sure what is happening, but it'll get better, I'm sure. So, watching a wallet actually works right now. So I can just take one of my wallets and say be what? This one, add it in. Here we go. And then if I go to clusters and add a mainnet connection, and I am going to do this off screen, and I need a better way to do this while off screen. Let me add this one right here, put this one right there. Just another browser for the same window. Then back here, it should return Samui clusters. I can create my cluster here, and then I should be able to say this one, which is a mainnet connection. And this one is mainnet. Pop it right here. That should allow me to go to mainnet. Wow, that actually, so the cool thing is if you check my cluster browser here, it'll do this across tabs. So this is kind of sweet to know. Now I'm on mainnet. Now I can pick my real account. There you are. Now I can go to portfolio and actually have balance, and I have tokens. Beautiful. This is really beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted for this feature. Another thing that I want to do is, well, while I'm at it here, I might as well add import, because I didn't really figure it was going to be so fast. Import wallet shouldn't really have surprised me because it's a fairly easy feature, right? But still, this one is going to be the import wallet, and I reckon we do want to have an icon like Lucia download or something. Or let's see how that looks. So pick this one. Yeah, I guess. How would you otherwise Lucid import? Okay, beautiful. We have an import option. What I already noticed is that on this end, it needs to be as well. So on the non-mobile view, we want to have the same buttons, obviously. We want to have the same features. Here, it doesn't really show very well. This by itself should probably all change, right? So let's not try to make it perfect. And do a little gap here, so gap 2. Amazing. So we can say import. This is definitely where we want to have tooltips. So we say UI tooltip. Content of the tooltip is import wallet. And then we'll do another one right here, right there, right there. And the last one will be derive wallet. And this one will be watch wallet. Beauty. So import wallet. What we want to do in the import wallet is fairly similar. Now, we can just use the same logic here. So let me go ahead and create import wallet here. And then we really want to have a function. And I'm going to call the function async function create wallet. And then the type is going to be wallet type. So that's the only thing I don't know up here. The rest of this can all just move in. And the only thing that I'm going to get from this function parameter is the type. Again, I'm micromanaging my code. Shouldn't have to be doing this, but here I am. Sometimes you have one of these days. Okay, I also need to pass in the account ID. Fair enough. So account ID is another one. I want to pass it in when I create this function. And let me actually type to account ID. And that's the thing. So now all of this can go. And I can just say create wallet imported, create wallet watched. Perfect. I reckon we could do something similar for this derived, but I don't think it really makes a ton of sense. Now, the imported wallet. I do need to do something else there. Because if it's imported, I actually want to store the secret. And I'm not sure, I am sure that we have an option for this. So my call here that this is actually the same stuff is probably just not true. This is a very oversimplified way of doing things. So having this here though, create wallet watched, having this one here is not bad. So it gets out of the component. It will eventually then move into the data access features, basically some other parts of the front-end code. I'm just going to build these things out imperatively. Watched, added, watch wallet. And in fact, this console log is just for debugging. I don't need it. I'm not going to be adding it. And if I don't add it today, I will be adding it. If I won't delete it today, I will be deleting it tomorrow. So this one can go, this one can go, and then in my imported type here can go, and this can be imported. There we are. But we also want to have secret key here. So we want to have a string representation of the secret key. So this is what we need to figure out. And then secret key is what will get us the public key if that all checks out. And if public key is public key, then we want to add this stuff. So I'm going to just, what is the secret key you want to import? And then const public key is get this from the secret key. So now our challenge is given I'm going to start with byte array. So given a byte array, we want to figure out what code do we need from Git, I mean, to get this out. So byte array, right? It's too big of a value, the first one, but this is kind of it. I'm actually going to grind one. I'm going to grind a key pair, start with live. Let me actually get something earlier, and I don't want mnemonic. There you are. Just figure out Sam. Okay, Sama, great. OpenAI leader. Sama. So for now, I'm going to hardcode this in. I'm actually going to add it here as a string as a default value. So if this now works, I should just have this one here, do OK. Then it says, okay, well, yeah, this is not a public key. Well, fair enough, this is not a public key. So I need to load key pair. Load key pair, and we have this thing here. Key pair signer, something with key pair signer. Now, I'm going to be checking out the Gil source code for this. So I'm going to go to my dev folder, Gil labs Gil, and I'm just going to open this fellow up right here. And I'm going to figure out how this is done in Gil, because I know they have a bunch of stuff related to this. There's actually a bunch of tests. This is great. Mock key bytes. So mock key bytes, create key pair from bytes. Amazing. Seems exactly what I need. And create key pair from base 64. Okay. So where does this come from? It comes from Solana Kit. So we must have access to both. And let's see if that's true. They don't error out. That's beautiful. So const key pair is create key pair from bytes, add in the secret key. Now, in order to get this secret key, because I do have it as a string, I did create a bunch of helper functions in our key pair function. So let's first make sure that the packages settings, yes, it does. It should depend on key pair. I created helper functions to do all of this. So what is that? Convert JSON to byte array. Here we go. Convert JSON to byte array. This is the JSON, and we expect a byte array. So I should be able to go and can delete this. I can actually remove this. Say, convert this to a byte array. Now we have a byte array. Now I can just say X, key pair is X, and this wants to be a promise. So I'm going to await it. And now I have a crypto key pair. And this create key pair from bytes, this has an extractable option. And this is exactly what we need to enable. So we're going to set true here so it can extract it later. I'm just going to pop this right in, which is perfect for now. I'm going to remove this. Now I have a crypto key pair, which now should get me the address. So I can say key pair dot public key dot, where is this thing? Key pair, private key dot. Okay, I need to say get public key from key pair. Something like that. Get public key from address. Get address from public key. The more I work with this, the more I understand that people are like confused, like how this stuff all works. And the more I think we need helper functions. This is also a promise, a wait. But this then should be my public key. So if everything is right and I do pop this one in and do this, I should have Sama here. Amazing. Love it. Now the thing that doesn't work is that this is not storing the actual byte array, because I have a crypto pair here, crypto key pair, but I don't have the JSON string. I did create a method for that. So convert key pair to JSON, extracts it, and then converts it. So this gives me back a string. So if I say convert key pair to JSON, now this might be a bit back and forth. I appreciate that. But the thing is, now I actually know that this is a private key. If this works. So this actually wants to be called input, because that's what it is. Then I'm going to say convert this input to a key. And now we're going to have a secret key that works. I'm going to go back settings, delete database. Okay, yes, I'm really sure. I cannot get back everything. Refresh the thing. Generate a new account. Bam, here. And now I'm going to add the byte array that I got from Sama. Bam, Sama is right here. Now in the wallet list, which is wallet table right here, I'm in the mobile view. I want to do two things. The first thing I want to do is right in front of the item name, I want to say wallet UI icon, and I'm going to add type, which is item.type. And then function, this one takes a type of wallet type. And I'm basically just going to switch over type here. And I'm going to return a Lucid icon. No, a UI icon Lucid. Return. I need a case, obviously. Case derived, return Lucid. And I think I can just add them like this. Lucid, a alphabet, text, whatever. I don't really care, as long as it's different. And these are different. Beautiful. Now this actually gives me a wallet icon back. And then I should be able to take that wallet icon and actually add it to my UI icon, where icon is this one. So is this how it works? It maybe doesn't even want to be a function. It's going to be used as a JSX component. Maybe it's just a function like this, where I say wallet icon type is type, item.type. Compiles, ship it. Okay, cool. So this now wants to sit next to each other. So I'm going to say item center, sure, gap 2, whatever. Great. Okay, now this thing can be a bit smaller. So I think I can say size 2. Well, that's too small. Size 4. This looks pretty good, if you ask me. So now I have a derived wallet. I have an imported wallet and I don't have a watched wallet. So let me watch my wallet here. Bam. This is amazing. This is really good. And I can still derive. Now, somehow derived, imported, watched. So I would expect this to be on the other hand. And I guess I know why this is. And this is because order always screws me over. I first want to order on, first want to sort on name, and then I want to sort on type. So I'm going to be doing this. and then this. Now we're getting somewhere. Beauty. And I think having these cute little icons here is going to be fancy as well. So what I'm going to do for this is take this UI icon that I got here, this one, and make this a proper component. So I still want to have the syntax export wallet UI icon, where I take type, and the type is wallet type. Come on, buddy. Today, it's not the best day for me and typing. Beautiful. Don't need to have a deep object here. I can just get this right away. Do this one right here. Something's still not really happy. Well, yeah, okay, some sorting stuff, sure. Wallet UI icon is not found, okay, but that's because we can just do it like so. Type item type. Amazing. This also means that we can probably do it right here. So we can say wallet UI item type is imported, watched, and then this is gonna be derived. Great. Sweet. Okay, let's copy these fellas over and do it in the wide view. So that'll be here. Okay, I don't have the same, so I'm gonna say wallet UI icon imported, and do the watched, and do the derived. Beauty. And then here in name, let me actually copy over what I got right here. So name, and how I typically like to do this is call a wallet UI item, which is the little icon plus its name. So we say export function wallet UI item, which takes a wallet of type wallet, and then I return this thing. And then in this case, item is actually called wallet. Now, in Spanish, they would say, yo me entiendo, I understand myself, I understand why I got a certain way of doing this thing. It's clearly just opinion, right? So it's nothing that can be done differently. You just need to agree on things, and it serves being consistent in what you agree on with yourself. Just so that if you look at your app a few months later, a few moments later, it actually still makes sense. Beautiful. And I reckon this can also live right here. I think that's actually pretty sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and export a bunch of these. Now this get wallet UI icon, I think I can have this function just live inside the component right here. There might be reasons not to. I'm not aware. And in fact, now that it's in a separate file, I might as well just get it out. And the same for wallet UI item, just pop this in a nice little file by itself. Now, these things are already in the settings UI. Now, it starts prefixed by wallet. These are components that belong to a specific type. In this case, it belongs to the wallet entity. And everywhere in the app where I want to show this wallet entity, I want to have access to this thing. Currently, it's only in the settings screen because these dropdowns are implemented in the settings as well. After the hackathon, we'll figure out the proper way to do this, if there is a proper way. For now, though, let's do it how we do it. So here, wallet is active. Love how that sounds. And then we can actually see right away that this is a derived wallet. I like that. And here, wallet UI item, and here the wallet is set to item. And now we can actually switch between all of these things. And yeah, as said, I like this. I like this a lot. Now ordering here is still wacky. And that is because where we have this drop down, we don't order the same way. So what I might do for now, at least, I'm going to close this one in this table, where I actually call this table in this feature, this sorting. Now this by itself is like kind of eyesore, right? It's ugly as hell, but that doesn't really matter. I just want this to work. And then tomorrow I'll do a great, beautiful cleanup session. Tomorrow I'm fresh. And then I'll say wallets, sort the hell out of yourself right here. I also realize I use a lot of profanity on stream. I hope that doesn't bother you. If it does, please let me know and I'll try to take it into account. But yeah, this is actually making progress. And another thing that I'm inclined to do, but this is just me being a nerd, I'm inclined to make these things, this wallet item, actually font monospace, because then it just aligns. I think that looks way cleaner. Just should be monospace. It's a wallet aimed at builders. A lot of people will be developer. I love this. I love this. I love this. Now, with that, we added an import feature. We can import. We added a watch option and we still have the derive option. Now with the derive option, this one asks for a public key, and we should get rid of the key right now because we know it works. So this was really like being able to quick and dirty test this thing without having to paste in the same stuff all the time. If not input.length, go. How this actually should work, we should also support this B58, base 58 formatted string. So let's open up Gil again in our editor. Meanwhile, let me take a sip of water. And I'm also really curious what you think about the audio. Is it good enough? Because I've been using these little microphones, and while they're cute and fancy, it was empty, battery was empty, didn't work. And if this is good enough, I won't even bother with this. I'll just do it how I do it right now. So beauty, we have a expected address, and we have a mock key pair. Okay, beautiful. So in our function, let's actually take these fellas. In our key pair library, I've been adding a bunch of higher level converters, key pairs, etc., etc. So what I was thinking, why not have a import key pair from string? Just import key pair. And I really want to be able to say or a base 65 or a byte array. Now, previously, a few years ago, I built something very similar where you can just throw in a byte array as a string, or you could throw in a base 58 string, or you could throw in a mnemonic phrase. Now, having learned lessons in the last few years, I no longer think it's a great idea to add support for a mnemonic phrase. It's a different thing. Like in the application that I was building at the time, we were only interested in one mnemonic phrase with one derivation path and only in the first wallet. It didn't need to be flexible at all. However, we're building a wallet and we want to have max flexibility. So in the future, I want to be able that during onboarding, if you import a byte array, you should be able to pick the mnemonic phrase and we should figure out which are actually funded wallets on this derivation path for this mnemonic phrase, and then go by that. So the import key pair is going to be a simplified version. Now, what I'm thinking right here, instead of trying to be fancy and try to detect, so what I could do, what is being fancy in this case? Well, I could say, okay, you know what, this thing is a string. Let's assume I get it in as a string. So I don't care about this being a uint8 array, what it actually is. For me, it's just a string. And I'm going to add it here, do it here and here, get rid of this comma, otherwise JSON starts nagging. And I can get rid of all of these spaces in between so that I just have a string, which is a byte array. Now, one way to do it is basically check if this thing starts and ends with a bracket. And then you could even do some more fancy stuff. So you can say, oh, it also at least needs to have a bunch of commas. If that's not true, it's most likely going to be a base 58 string. And let's try that. However, the other way to do it is basically say, you know what? I'm going to have a function that says from byte array and another one that says from base 58. And both of these will just take input. And in fact, we can grab what we've already been using here, because this is what we want to have from the byte array one. Create key pair from bytes. So much so, I might not need a proper function for this, but bear with me. So we're going to return this thing. Probably doesn't need a return await. Now here we can actually directly use kit because we depend on kit. And this should give us back a crypto key pair. A promise of crypto key pair. Right. Now, the other function here is a create this one. Yeah, I probably don't need functions, but still, let me just get this the way I like this to work. Create key pair from base 65, that's base 58. And this should also give us back a promise of crypto key pair. Right. And then I reckon I could just say, hey, input string gives me back a promise of crypto key pair. And then the dirty way, and I know this is dirty, is basically first try this one. Then try the other one. And I'm very much on the happy path blindness route here. But for now, I'm going to run with it. So yeah, I don't need these proper functions because it's already nice and clean inside a function. So I'm going to add this one here and this one right here. And I'm going to write a quick test. And I'm going to write a quick test that's called import key pair.spec.ts. Now, why is this not here? Create key pair from. Where is Gil getting this from? Key pair space 58. Create key pair from base 58. Is it because, okay, they, yes, okay, they have this, this encoder. So we're going to copy this function. Yep. And in fact, I probably want to have key pair signers, because eventually I want to sign with these things. So we might as well just do key pair signer here. And create signer from key pair. This one exists. Create key pair signer from kit. Sure. Then here I want to have this one. So this is then a key pair signer. Now this one wants to be key pair signer from bytes and import key pair signer from whatever. These ones I don't need. And this one, I'm just going to use it internally for now. While I clean up, I will add a notification that this is MIT licensed from Gil. And then let's see where this then comes from. Create key pair from, and this is the encoder, sure. So all of these things, create signer from key pair. Okay, so I actually don't need it because I can always create a signer from a key pair. This is good to know. So my basic building block here is the crypto key pair, and I can always create a signer just in time when I need it. This probably just saves me one conversion right there on the spot. So I'm just going to go back. It's a bit back and forth, but that's how these things work, right? So this can then be crypto key pair, and this will be crypto key pair, and this will be crypto key pair, and this will not be a signer from bytes, but just create a key pair from bytes. Import key pair signer from either A or B. Then in our test, I'm going to go ahead and say import key pair. Expected behavior should import a key pair from a byte array. And then the unexpected behavior, not going to bother with it for now. This is all for tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to comment it out. So tomorrow, during my wake up session, in my coffee, during my coffee, I figure out, okay, I need to do this. Need to add test. And honestly, I'll probably ask Gemini. Now I have these mocks here, which come in handy. So test watch. Now these mocks, I can just do it right here. So here I would say byte array is this one. And then expected is that one. And for the other test, it'll be this one. So base 58. I'm going to call it like this. Expected should be the same. 5C. So I can just basically copy that one over. I'm going to say input byte array. And then I want to do act const result is await import key pair from the input byte array. Why do I just not call this input? Input expected. And then my expectation is that the result is expected. Beautiful. Make it async, import this thing. Let's see. We have a failing test. But that's because it's the second one. Ah, we also have a failing first one. Great. Okay, so this is a crypto key pair. So I expect result public key. So we want to say address, const address is get address from public key, and this is result.public key address to be expected. If I would await this. One passed, amazing. Implementing the second. Input is this, expected is that. Act const result is await import key pair of input. Then the assertion is const address is await. And it actually wants to be a async function. Now the address is await. Get address from publicly result.public key. And then we say expect address to be expected. And now we have two passing tests. I do want to test something else here, which is kind of retesting the same files, but while we're at it. So let me call this public key and do secret key as well. So I want to make sure that I get convert key pair to JSON, convert key pair to JSON, put in the result, and then expect JSON to be input. Nice, and I'm actually going to pop up these things right here, and now I am going to actually call this input byte array, because now it's actually relevant that I have access to both. The thing is, when I'm importing this input base 58, I also want to store the byte array. Input base 58, but that one's going to be here. So this one's going to be there. That one can go, that one can go. And then essentially these things want to be here. Public key is going to be expected. This secret key, no, this is going to be byte array. So it's actually a proper conversion. And here we do expect assertions, and we're going to assert 2 always. Now, why is this failing? Key is not extractable. Okay, beautiful. Import key pair. Key pair from bytes extractable. Create key pair from bytes extractable. This wants to be extractable, which we're going to pass in here, which is default false. And we're going to set it to true. And then, in fact, we're also going to take extractable, set it to false, pass it in here. And we're going to be explicit if we want to extract this thing, if and when we use it. So here it's going to be true. And right there, it's going to be true. Now, what I like about this, there's a bunch of things I like about this. One is we got it working, which is the whole goal of the program, right? The goal of the program is to show that you can do stuff within an hour. We're already over the hour. This is beautiful. I really, really like it. Now, there's a shortcut I can kind of take. So let me create a new account here, and let me go to the application in here, in the Samui Wallet DB, in the wallets. Now, these are the wallets. These are the indexes, indices, however you want to call it. I can open these things up. Why do I think that's interesting? Well, if I create a new account, I don't even need to create a new account, but I might as well. Oh, I got this bug right here, so why would I even bother? So this now should be empty because I deleted the whole shebang. It's empty. So I'm going to say import. I'm going to import the base 58. Okay, we're not using the logic. So let's first actually do that. So we want to use the import key pair. So here, now we just say import the input. import the input. Now we can clearly create a higher level function where we say, okay, import the thing. Oh, and by the way, convert it to secret key and convert it also to a public key. So async function import to, what is it? Import public key and secret key. Take the input as a string and run this, and then actually return public key and secret key. In terms of API, I like this a lot because now I can just use this right away and basically say, hey, you know what? Take this input and get me the public key and the secret key. And however the hell you do this, I don't care. Love it. Beautiful, high-level function. So we have this create wallet imported. We take an input, and then we take public key and secret key, and then it should be there. So I'm going to say do this for AX, import it. Now something goes wrong. Let's console log public key and secret key and import here. And why don't I also just say input right here, just so we're making sure that I'm on the right track. Import wallet, pass this thing in. So I got the import, I got the public key, and I also got the secret key. Now, if I look at my tests, this is 185.162, and the wallet is 56E. So it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Whole database, just nuke it all. So I'm going to revisit the browser. I should now be redirected to the account page. Create a new account, generate. Great, beauty. Now I'm going to take the base 58, import the wallet, import it here, bam, it's there, 5C. I think I should also be able to just do the other one. I should be able to just have two of the same wallets. There's nothing that should prevent me from doing so, and it works. Amazing. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Sandeep, I didn't have a lot of interaction, but I do appreciate that you've been commenting along the way, and yeah, that it's good enough to understand train of thought. It's still super fun for me to do these things. During the day, I figure out, okay, what's interesting tonight to show in the program. So, so that I have something that we can actually chat about, like just me interacting with cleaning up pull requests, fixing a whole bunch. That's not the most interesting part. This is also why I leave the cleanup session for the day after. So just some fresh eyes over this code, like, okay, what did I think? What was I thinking there, right? So there's a bunch of things that I will improve once I do these things, but that's all part of the process, and I like doing that. I think that's fun. That's a fun part of the job. How am I going to name these things, right? So all of these things, I think that's it's fun to do, but it's probably not too fun to look at. So I quickly move this one here. We are going to import it right here. And yes, with that, we should have a compiling app. So I'm going to close this one. I'm going to close Gil. Thanks a lot, Gil, for the inspiration. Nick did an amazing job starting this project, and now it's being maintained by Foundation, by a bunch of external people. Also, Toby works on this. Let me quickly ban somebody, some spammer here. Yes, just here to chill and vibe with Samui's codebase. I really, really appreciate you being here, sir. It's really cool to have you here. And yeah, always positive vibes when you're around. And yeah, it helps me keep on track. So I'm going to say feature. Now, does this already have? Okay, so I just the bman import watch wallets. And I'm going to do a feature import watch wallets. And then if my lenter is happy and my type check is happy, I know my tests are all running. The tests are getting longer and longer to run, which is a bullish sign because it means that we have more tests in the repo. And honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself about the amount of tests that we're having. I think a few key parts of the application are being tested properly. Now, the whole snafu with why this wallet clicking stuff doesn't work, not proud of that, but I do see this as a more superficial thing. So I'm sure tomorrow with a fresh coffee, I'll be able to figure out why that is. Until then, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you had a great time. I love you all, and I see you soon.